All right, y'all. So pardon the interruption. I underestimated my space situation, or I should say, I overestimated it. But what took place is this: Ben X uses soft language. Ben X uses um, language that is friendly for the younger generation, language that can be considered clean language. I rarely even heard, except for the word damn. I don't think I heard Ben X use a single expletive in any of his videos, right? I don't remember Ben X directing language at any particular ethnic group or religious group to the extent that it would be perceived as being hateful, right? But yet still, Ben X could have his video or his video channel flagged and shut down on YouTube, right? So clearly, this was a targeted effort by some people to diminish the message from his particular channel, but it was also aimed at diminishing the impact of black consciousness in the younger generation. Because what you find is that very rarely will you find any of the young voices on YouTube that are actually speaking from the vantage point of a mature, principled understanding, right? Providing the opinions of the youth on various topical issues, all right? The youth tackling some issues, you know what I'm saying? So I appreciated what was taking place on his channel thus far. But I know he had a few exchanges with members of the black community. So don't be surprised if it wasn't somebody in our own community that actually toppled Ben X page temporarily. Like I said, temporarily, because I'm sure as soon as whatever ban is lifted, he will be back at the business of organizing. So what I would recommend is that he opens a second channel and just continues to, inform his followers about what is taking place, right? But in other news, young Pharaoh had a live stream with Rizza Islam or Rizza X, right? And in the exchange, young Pharaoh was basically positing the fact that, well, he was positing the position that um, Malcolm X took a particular position about the Nation of Islam with respect to his safety being threatened by individuals that he thought were being sent by the Nation of Islam, right? And in this exchange, basically, Rizza Islam was trying to direct the conversation towards Minister Farrakhan because I think his contention was that the original conversation was about Minister Farrakhan and whether there was any criticism, any substantial criticism of Minister Farrakhan from Malcolm X or from basically anyone, right? And thus far, I can't implicate Louis Farrakhan in any wrongdoing, and I'll leave it at that. But as far as the conversation, I would say that the tone went to a very petty level in this discussion because rather than engage it from a thoughtful, um, analytical point of view, the conversation became an argument. And in many occasions, young Pharaoh used various language which was incendiary, which wasn't really going to bring any type of fruitful discussion, right? Rizza Islam, he maintained his composure for the most part, except that for some reason he couldn't stop uh, inviting young Pharaoh into the ring, right? I would say, brother, after you said it the first time, I believe your point was made clear. But when you say it the seventh time, all right, when you say it the eighth time, all right, when you even say it for the 10th time, brother, you basically you're making me wonder about it. You know what I'm saying. So you don't really have to repeatedly invite the brother into the ring. I believe it's there for the record. It's in the transcript. It's in the video. You invited him to a boxing match or a mixed martial arts encounter, right? And that's fair enough. If you feel like you were disrespected, shooting the fair one or going for the fair one is understandable. But what I would say to both of the individuals involved, Pharaoh and Rizzo, when you find yourself with a platform that appeals to the younger generation, you should never embarrass yourself, by actually advocating that violence is a potential solution to conflict. Because what you're doing is you're telling all of the gangs that it is okay when there's a dispute for you to tell somebody to fight. All right, it's okay for there to be a feud that turns into violence, because basically what you are doing as two of the people who we look at as probably the most conscious voices in your community that you come from. I can't say you're the most conscious in my community or in other parts of the world, but in your community, which has a significant platform, you shouldn't allow yourself to dissolve into pettiness and to even advocate that violence is a solution to a problem. No matter how honorable you make it seem, what you still are doing is you feed in the mentality of violence, and you are actually instilling this idea in the mind of younger generations. People who are seeking consciousness, you are teaching them that the way that you all are handling a problem is the conscious way to do it. And so I would ask you, if you're doing that, what is the purpose of either of your platforms if you can't really restrain yourselves enough to just keep it about the issues? All right. But people, let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Let me know what you think about all this. This is part two of a previous video right before this. So check it out and you would see the backdrop of this issue. Brother Ben X had his page terminated. Rizza and Pharaoh are reportedly getting in the ring. But let me know what your thoughts are, everyone. One love.